What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome to my very first Black Ops Cold War video where I want to go in depth on the create a class system and show you guys everything possible there is to do in there. And I'm talking about like over 20 things in your create a class you guys could throw on, including perks, attachments, weapons, wildcards, literally super perks, guys. I'm going to talk about literally everything you can do, and let's get straight into it. But before we do, if you guys could drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with those notifications turned on, that would be amazing. Now, I do have to say that I'm using from gameplay from Noah J's stream, so I do apologize, buddy. Please don't hurt me, man. I don't got the game, all right? But the first thing I want to talk about is some questions that a lot of people have regarding create a class. Like, can you edit your class in game again? Like in Modern Warfare, if you're playing a game and you don't like the way your class is, you hate one of the attachments, you could easily edit it. And that was the first ever COD that brought that. Could you do it again? Yes, you can. You could edit your classes in game again. So that's actually something really good. Now, I also want to say, what are the secondaries? A lot of people were asking that. Well, so far in the game, the only secondaries are pistols, shotguns. Yes, shotguns are secondaries again, thank God. And launchers, but there's obviously going to be knives, there might be a riot shield, who knows. This is not the final build of the game. This is the game that only they want to showcase, the stuff that they want to showcase at the moment. Now, the field upgrades, what do they include? So the field upgrades are like the field upgrades within Modern Warfare. You get certain things, you earn it through time, you don't really earn it through score in this game, so you could kill people, but it won't help you get your field upgrades faster. But the field upgrades that they include are like the SAM turret, the jammer. The jammer is pretty cool because it jams all enemy electronic equipment and stuff. You also got a field mic. Now, the field mic is kind of cool. You place it down and you could hear enemy footsteps a lot louder. If someone's running dead silence, you could probably hear it, and that's actually pretty cool, but I feel like no one's really going to be using that much. And yeah, I mean, it counters dead silence. That's about it. So I mean, don't use it. Don't be one of those guys. Now, the perks are cool as well. Before we get into the attachments, which, by the way, guys, there's a way you could run up to 8 attachments on your weapon, which is crazy. Before we get into that, let's talk about the perks first. What perks are in the game so far? Well, we see engineer, so you can see enemy score streaks and stuff like that, which, by the way, score streaks do not reset on death. So if you're one kill off your chopper gunner and you die, you still have the chance to get it. But there is a cooldown so that you can't spam it over and over again. This just, I mean, in my opinion, this sucks. Because not that it sucks, but I mean, it's for noobs. I mean, if you're getting a nuke, if you're 1 kill away from a nuke and some dude who has 3 kills earned a score streak but died 100 times, it's just not fair for you if he calls it in and kills you. But I mean, that's that. There's also tactical mask for the perk as well, and this is to take less tactical damage. So if there's a concussion or a stun grenade or a flashbang, it's not going to last as long. It's going to be like 2 seconds and then you're all good. There's also flak jacket, which is pretty much the same thing but for explosives. So if someone throws a grenade at you and they try to blow you up, you won't die. You got flak jacket on. There's scavenger. You guys know what scavenger is. It's the perk I always talk about in every COD. You should be running scavenger, especially if you're planning on staying alive. You definitely want to run scavenger. There's also a new one here called quartermaster. It's not new, but it has a new name, and this is to recharge your equipment over 25 seconds. So if you have a grenade and you use it and you want it back, you just gotta wait 25 seconds and you got another grenade back, or you want your stun back, you could easily go and do that. Now, there is tracker as well to see enemy footsteps, but there's something added to tracker, which is pretty cool, and this is where you could aim at enemies to reveal them on the team minimap. So if you aim at someone, their red dot is going to appear on the minimap for all of your teammates to see, not just you. So that's actually going to help out callouts. You don't have to call him out, just literally aim at the dude and your whole team knows where he's at. So that's pretty cool, but then you have to run tracker in order to do that. There's cold-blooded, so you could be pretty much hidden from enemies. Your name tag won't show up or anything like that. Kind of cool as well. I'm guessing score streaks won't be able to see you. There's also ghosts, so you could be hidden from streaks like the UAV or anything like that as well. I feel like that's pretty cool. And then there's ninja, which is to help you guys sprint more quietly, and it's resistant to the field mic. So if someone's running the field mic, they won't be able to hear you if you have ninja on, which is why I said, guys, don't run the field mic. It sounds like it's going to be useless. Now, there are wild cards as well. So far, we see 4 wild cards, and they're pretty cool. So one of them is danger close. This allows you to start with max ammo, and it gives you an extra lethal and an extra tactical. There's also lawbreaker, which is to equip any weapon in either slot and equip any perks. So this is kind of cool as well. I mean, you could put a secondary as your primary, so you could put a pistol as your primary, and I feel like that's pretty cool, but that means you could run a pistol and a knife. You're not restricted. You don't have to run a primary weapon like an assault rifle or something. He could finally have just a pistol and a knife, which is kind of cool if you ask me. There's also Gunfighter. This allows you to unlock 3 additional attachments on your primary weapon. So I mean, if you put a pistol as your primary, which you can't, because I mean, lawbreak, you can only use 1 wild card. What am I saying? That's pretty cool. I mean, you could run up to 8 attachments on your gun with this. You guys don't even know the amount of overpowered class videos I'm making with this right there, man. This wild card. And then the last one is Perk Greed, which allows you to run 3 extra perks. So you could have 6 perks on your class right here. So this is pretty cool so far. Now let's talk about the actual create a class. What type of attachments will we be able to run on our guns? Are we limited or are we unlimited in terms of what we could run? Well, so far right here, there's actual 8 slots, 8 categories of weapon attachments that we could actually run. So one of them is muzzle, the other is optic, barrel, underbarrel, body, stock, magazine, and handle. Those are the 8. And if you guys are running the Gunfighter wildcard, you could run every single one of these 8 on your gun and literally make like the most overpowered, unstoppable, best class setup in Cold War. Yeah, I just literally, that's gonna be one of my titles in the future. But yeah, yo, so the muzzle is pretty cool. There's a bunch of them. You guys can see it on screen right here. The optic, again, there's a whole bunch of them, but this isn't as far as it goes to create a class. There's actual things like the actual definition, and it tells you how much of a percent this gives you. So let's say you throw an optic on, it'll tell you plus 5% zoom, anything like that. So you might be zoomed in plus 5%. But if you throw on, let's say, an underbarrel like the Merc 4 grip in Modern Warfare, for example, in Modern Warfare, it literally just shows you that it gives you vertical recoil control. That's all it tells you that it does, and that's it. You don't know how much. The little green bar on the bottom where it shows you how much it gives you for accuracy isn't even that accurate. Those little green bars aren't accurate. But in this game, they took it a step further, which I think is pretty cool, and they actually tell you how much of a percentage it's going to change the weapon. So let's say you run a Merc 4 grip, which it probably won't be called a Merc 4 grip, but let's say you do run that, it's going to tell you plus 10% vertical recoil control, which is really cool. And then you can see another one, maybe like the Ranger 4 grip, for example. I'm just giving you guys examples here. That's going to tell you plus 15% vertical recoil control. And that also tells you the negatives, maybe negative 5% sprint speed or negative 5% movement speed. And then the other one might have negative 20% movement speed, meaning the gun is a lot heavier and you're going to move a lot slower. So do you want that extra recoil control but sacrifice a bunch of movement speed, or do you want less recoil control but have faster movement speed? So these are all the things that I think are pretty cool. It actually tells you everything, which I have to say is really nice. Maybe there's going to be one that's a sprint to fire speed. So let's say you're running the stippled grip tape or something like that. For the actual handles, it's going to tell you plus 5% sprint to fire speed, minus 10% movement speed. So you want to say, okay, do I really want to use this if I'm losing 10% movement speed? You got to really think about your classes here, and I think that's really cool, because let's say you add a whole bunch of attachments that take away movement speed. For example, let's say one of them takes away 5%, the next one takes away 15%, and you have 8 attachments that remove movement speed, and then by the end of building your class, you look at it and you have over minus 100% movement speed, which is probably not going to be possible, but I'm just giving you guys like an extreme example here. That might not be worth it, so you might want to rework your classes. So I'm going to have a lot of work ahead of me, especially when making the best class setups. I'm going to have to actually put all of these into consideration, figure out the actual best class. But at the end of the day, guys, it's still going to be like Modern Warfare, except you have the extra additional information that you might not have needed. Now, I will say one thing I love about this game, like that I really don't want to see leave the next COD in 2021. I want this to always be in it, and that is the option to put as many attachments as you want on your weapon. Like Modern Warfare was one of the first CODs to bring in 5 attachments onto your gun, which I loved, I fell in love with, and then Black Ops as well. Now you could have up to 8. I don't ever want to go back to basic created class systems where you can only have 2 attachments, maybe 3 if you're lucky, on your gun. I always want it to be like this, where you have a bunch of attachments, you could do what you want with it, and I feel like it's really, really cool. And I do like that you're not limited to just 10 slots on your creative class. Like you could literally have over 20 slots taken on this right here, which is really cool. But that's it, guys. Let me know what you think of creative classes down below. I felt like talking about this rather than gameplay because my channel is pretty much based on creative class and stuff like that. So I'm really happy with this one. This is going to be a great game, great year, at least in terms of building awesome classes and stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We're so close to 650K. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about the reveal, and make sure to drop a like as well. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.